Right now on Denver 7 News at 4, a snow dump over Denver. We take a look at some of the snow totals in the area and what to expect for the weekend.
There are thousands of openings nationwide for EMS workers. How some departments are now turning to people as young as middle school to fill the staffing gaps, and better protecting low-income and communities of color from the impacts of climate change. How cities are finding solutions to better identify where help is needed.
And another county clerk under the microscope, the latest investigation coming from the Secretary of State's office. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jason Grenauer. Taking a live look outside over downtown today, you wouldn't think that snow hit as hard as it did last night. Here's just some of the, well, first of all, take a look at the blue sky. Now let's look at those snow totals. According to the National Weather Service, we got about 4.8 inches of snow here in Denver, going up to about 7 inches down in Edgewater. Now, meteorologist Stacey Donaldson joins us. And Stacey, it's going to be a totally different story come this weekend.
There's something for everyone. If you love the snow, we just had that. If you love 50s and 60s, we'll have that this weekend. But outside right now, we're starting to see things cool off a little bit more. Temperatures only in the 20s and 30s. It's definitely been a chilly day. Our wind chill factor feeling like it's 21 at DIA, 15 for Estes Park, and 20 below for Berthoud Pass. So as we go through the rest of this evening, we'll have mostly clear skies all across the state. A beautiful night for us, but it will be cold. We'll have temperatures in the upper 20s through about midnight with our overnight lows tonight into the teens. It'll be partly cloudy overnight, and then we have this nice warm up before a huge cold front comes our way next week, and this has some Arctic air behind it. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, Stacey, thank you. Even before the Marshall Fire, Colorado lawmakers had spent a lot of time considering how to make the state more resilient to climate change. A bipartisan wildfire committee met over the summer and came up with a package of 5 bills to help. 3 of those bills were heard in a legislative committee today. One offers incentives for local governments to work on forest management and wildfire mitigation. A second creates a grant program to help counties prevent and recover from fires. A third offers help to landowners with grants to mitigate their properties.
Will it solve the wildfire problem in Colorado? No. No. Unfortunately, I wish I could say that we could get that completely under control with this package of bills. But we're going to be making good progress.
Now, these are just a few of the wildfire bills making their way through the legislature this year. Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold is suing the Elbert County clerk. Now, the lawsuit requires clerk Dallas Schroeder to explain why he allegedly copied and distributed images of voting system hard drives. Schroeder has had weeks to explain his actions but hasn't responded. Griswold also wants to force Schroeder to retrieve all election copies and allow the secretary's office to inspect those copies. Now, we reached out to Schroeder ourselves to offer him a chance to tell his side of the story. We never heard back. The Adams 14 School District has released an audit which the district claims shows mismanagement by the previous management company. Now, the report shows MGT Consulting paid vendors a total of $495,000, sometimes paying out more than what was originally agreed upon. In some cases, the audit suggests those vendors were performing services that MGT was hired to perform itself. MGT Consulting was brought in to correct several years of poor performance in Adams 14. The district has previously said they would welcome another management company. Now, in response to the district's audit, the State Board of Education says although they've asked for the audit many times over the last month, they say they didn't see the audit until about 20 minutes before today's news conference. They sent out a statement saying, in part, the forensic audit does not appear to provide conclusive evidence. It simply directs the district to review its contracts. In the end, this is a contract dispute between the district and MGT. It is not something within the jurisdiction of either CDE or the State Board, end quote.
You've heard plenty about the pandemic's supply chain struggles. The news feed starts with the government going against those trying to exploit those issues. The Justice Department is launching a new program that will go after companies that try to use the supply chain problems to collude to fix prices or wages. Now, if you haven't gotten the Omicron variant of COVID-19, you probably know someone who has. One model now estimates that 73% of Americans are immune to the variant. At least for now, it is important to note that Omicron is killing more than 2,000 Americans every day. Now, there could be a booster shot this summer that specifically protects against Omicron. Moderna is hoping that it could be ready to go by August. More research needs to be done to confirm that this booster is more effective than just another dose of the current vaccine. Black older adults are about twice as likely to have Alzheimer's or other dementias as older white adults, yet they make up less than 10% of those who take part in clinical trials. The AHEAD study is trying to help change that, addressing inequity and mistrust that has prevented Black adults from getting involved in the past.
We prioritize ensuring that participants are safe, feel safe, but also developing an inclusive environment where participants feel that they are not just a part of the team, but as we see it, the most important member of the team. And that's definitely the culture that we want to foster and continue to cultivate.
The study is testing a treatment to see if it can manage changes in the brain happening within 20 years before someone starts to experience memory loss.
This trial is unique in that it focuses on prevention. It's aiming to prevent the disease. So it's looking at participants as young as 55, and that is unique to the study. Typically, participants are looked at or evaluated, and investigational treatments are evaluated later in the disease or when the disease is already shown its presentation.
Now, they're enrolling people in the trial right now. They do expect to have results in the next few years. You can go to aheadstudy.org to learn more and see if you are eligible to take part. Home insurance rates are increasing, and a new type of gentrification is driving some of it.
This is a national crisis. There is a humanitarian side to it, and they need to invest and work with their local communities. There's such a disconnect there.
The impact of climate change, gentrification, and how much it is already impacting what we pay.
And first comes the snow, then comes the ice, and Aurora homeowners are tired of slipping. When we come back, where the accountability should fall and why the city says to wait for them to handle it.